Good evening, everyone. Congratulations on making it to week 7. We're getting really close to the end, so keep with me. Keep working hard, and we will get there. This week on the case study, I'm going to focus on part 2 of the case study, give you that as an example, and you can utilize that through the remainder of the questions to get to where we're going, along with obviously the text. So make sure you're reading chapters 13 and 14 this week. Specifically 14 for this problem. I think has the majority of the information you'll need. And you'll see as we go through, we're really going to focus on the p-value when we get through on this problem. So the first thing I'll note is the data that is given to you, I don't think really does a lot to help you. So really what I would do is start with the blank Excel sheet and extrapolate the data that's here. So for question number 2, is there a significance between men and women with respect to the fact of their lives produce the most anxiety? With which facet, of their lives produce the most anxiety during the recent economic downturn using an alpha of 0.05? That's what we're going to focus on tonight. So the data they give us here, most anxiety, finances, out of work, family, relationships, health, and total. That's the data that is given. So what I'm going to do is utilize that in an Excel spreadsheet. So obviously I'm going to start with a fresh sheet. I'm going to move this over to my other screen. You guys won't be able to see. And I'm going to grab the data off of that. So the key to this week is setting up the data correctly, and this is often the case. But they've actually given you examples that already has the data set out appropriately. I don't know why they didn't provide it in Excel format, but they didn't. So you'll need to do that in Excel. But just copy really what they've already got in place, men, women, and then we got finances, out of work, family, relationships, health, and then total. Okay. And we also want to put total down here at the bottom because we're going to utilize that. So the data that is given, we got 42. And I could have pre-done this, but I really wanted to show you how to set it up from all the way from the start to the finish. All right. 8. And also wanted to show you really it's not a long process to do this. On your totals, we'll just do a simple sum and drag that over there. All right. Now I can drag down, it gives me the sum there. I'm going to do the same thing here, so I only have to do it once. Then I can drag it across to duplicate the results. Grab the corner here, drag it over. All right. So there's my setup for the anxiety question. Once I have this is our observed set of data. We know this is a fact. We want to know what our predicted set of data is. So to get that, I simply am going to copy and paste all this down here. Just like that. But I want to eliminate these individual results for men and women. I want to clear this content. I want to leave my totals. So let me do this. When I copy and paste that, I should have copy and pasted the values. So let me go back and do that correctly. So I want to copy, and then I want to paste values. I'll eliminate those formulas. All right, so I want to copy and paste everything down. Now I want to get rid of these individual results, and we are going to create some predictive results. And really for the predictive results, you're not going to use the totals at all, but they can be there. It's fine. Or you can eliminate them if it makes you feel better or cleans up your data. Either way is fine. So to get the predictive results, here is the formula. we're going to say equals total times, and then you want to go to the row total. So you do the column total times the row total divided by the column total. So in this example, I know I'm going to keep this column total here and here consistent throughout the work. So I think it makes sense to go ahead and lock those two as I move across. And I'll leave C5 floating a bit. This will make sense. So when I drag it over here, I can see that the C moved to the D, and these two stayed stagnant because I locked them in with F4, excuse me. Right, so now all I have to do is just drag that across. So we're going to do the same thing for the women. We're going to say equals the total times, and this time we're going to do the total for the women. I'm going to hit F4 and lock that one in, divided by the overall total. Again, I'm going to hit F4 and lock that in, and hit enter. These are predictive numbers if there was no variance between men and women. So now we want to get the p-value for our chi-test. So this is very simple in Excel. I'm going to put p-value here just so I know what it is. And it equals chi-test. Once that pops up, see that I'm going to hit tab. I want to grab our actual range. All right. So we're going to grab all of this for men and women, not the totals, but just the observed values or the actual values. Now we want to deal with this expected range, or what we created down here below. So now that should make sense as to why we created that. So we're going to grab that. Close our parentheses. And that gives us our p-value. Now the key for you guys is to understand what that p-value means and be able to say, hey, is this a significant difference between men and women or not? Yes or no, and then explain. So now that I've given you all the tools that you need to complete the work in Excel, the work on your end is to read the text, look over the PowerPoint, and make sure you understand what that p-value tells us about the difference between men and women in each of these categories. But that p-value will work for every different category here, whether it's finances, out of work, family. There's one answer, so you don't have a separate answer for each one of these buckets. It's one answer in total when we talk about the difference between men and women. That's all they're talking about here. So I hope that's helpful. If you're still confused or need a head start on where to go on this week's case study, let me know and we can set up a video call. But if not, I look forward to seeing your submissions and continuing the dialogue. Hope you guys are having a great week, and looking forward to 2 weeks from now when you've got stats behind you and you'll move on to the next step in your educational career. Have a great evening. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.